Can't remember if I did a video on this or not before, but since last update, I bought a used shift plate for 424. Kind of matches its patina. Pretty decent. Got a little bit of rust, just minor damage right there in that corner, but it's purely cosmetic, so we're good to go. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to figure out this generator light. I was about to say even if it kills me, but I don't think I'll go quite that far. But I'm going to start monkeying with. I probably haven't started this tractor in a week or two, something. I don't know. I stopped monkeying with it, and then I had some other tractor issues come up on some other ones, and left this sit and ordered that because I need to figure out, basically, I need to finish the electrical, then I can put the fuel tank back in, and I can run a new fuel line, so it'll run off its own fuel tank. But I can't do that until I finish out the electrical, because the gas tank sits right up against the dash. So, you guys get what I'm up against now. Okay? Everybody understand? Everybody got it figured out? Okay. Alright. Let me figure this out. Because I'm thinking it's either one of two things, and hopefully getting a spot here where I'm not staring into the lights with the camera, but it's either a bad ground to the generator light. I might be staring into the light. I forgot about that one over there. Bad ground to the generator light, or the voltage regulator itself is bad, which I have more of those. I've been testing and comparing this to my 66 C10, and I mean, thus far all the wiring is the same, so I don't know what the heck is going on exactly yet, but I'll get there. And I just remembered I left my flashlight in Mom's Escape last night. I'll walk out and get that, then I'll come back to you guys. Okay, other thing I found was a tire rod end, this style. I just finally remembered what I did with them. Apparently I put them on that shelf inside there with the old school, I was going to call it power steering, but it's not power steering, the box steering. Okay, so I'm wondering if what I did, because what I did so far is I switched the blue and the black wire, which this is an accessory, and this is the regulator. And basically this blue wire goes to the headlights, so it only needs power with the engine running. And the accessory does the same thing, but I noticed when I had it hooked to the regulator terminal that the light does not go out when you crank it. See, right now, if I put the switch in the dash, it'd be a whole lot easier. Okay, hold on, let me get my tripod. Alright, I think it's going to be an okay spot. You guys can see what I'm doing, but basically it shuts off with the key switch, turns on with the key switch. I don't know if this will start or not when I crank it over, but it probably will. But basically it goes out when you crank it. And I'm going to switch it back to the way I originally had it here. See, when you crank it, it doesn't go out. So that might be part of the problem. It's holding the contacts together and not breaking them. So the other thing I'm wondering with the voltage regulator feed, if it has a weird feedback, where the generator light needs a constant power. So basically, I'm going to take the choke off here, and I think we're going to have some fire in the hole. Try not to be too awful loud. It's about 9:30 on a Sunday morning here. So I got the choke cable to free up for this, but not the throttle cable. It ended up breaking, so I have another choke cable that I'm going to try and make work for this. go from there. So I want to try a couple different things here. I want to try. From what I remember, if I press the contact down and get the generator linked off, it doesn't charge. Battery, I got 13.4, 13.6 volts. Pretty sure if I press in this contact, yeah, the light goes out, but then it stops charging. Yeah, I'm thinking something's not right there. Something's not right. I tried putting a ground to the light and that didn't help. So the next thing I might do is I might go try another voltage regulator box and just see what happens. I have a couple of them, so take another one apart and at least see if it operates the same and hook it up. Because if it operates the same, I know it's a wiring issue of some type, and since I have one to try, why not try it, right? Right. Okay. Be back with you guys. So guys, this is the other two starter generator voltage regulators I have. On your right would be what I'm going to assume is like a cheap reproduction, something along those lines. And on your left, this is an actual Delco Remy voltage regulator, and you can see it has an adjustable screw on here, so you can adjust it on the fly. For this style here, you have to loosen these bolts and then slide these up and down to get it set right. So I'm still wondering if the one that's in there is not set right, perhaps. The Delco Remy, judging by the wires that are on it, looks like the one that I took off the case. And this one here, I believe, was given to me by somebody. It was off a tractor that got parted out. And now the one that's on there, take note of the coils here, guys. See the 3 prongs on top, 3 prongs on top. See, the right hand coils are real fine wound coil, big coils. And this actually has 2 separate stacks of coils. It has the green on the bottom, and then the plastic in the middle, or rubber, whichever it is. And the coil windings up top, and then it has big windings there. So if we go over here, lighting is not the best under this dash, but I don't know if you can see, but the one on the left is missing half of the windings compared to that one. And the one on the right is way different than what we have up there. So this one here, I don't think there was a name on the box. What I remember, the cover's pretty rusty too. Gasket's still on there. Yeah, no name. Oh yeah, here we go. It's an American Bosch. So what does this other no name one have a name on it? Or is it? Oh, anybody want to find that screw? I'll find that in a bit. Let's see if there's a name. The name was probably on the rusty side. And I don't see a name on this one. It could be American Bosch too, I don't know. Those are both pretty good names in the starter generator world, so what do you think, guys? Swap it out with the Delco Remy and see what happens? I mean, that's what I'm thinking. Could even be the whole box just has a bad ground. Because them bolts look pretty crusty. And these connections are interesting looking anyhow. So, yeah. I'm going to consult my options here. And I will get back to you guys. Alright guys, so I got that Delco Remy voltage regulator in there. I tried the other American Bosch style one and I believe it was bad because it actually wouldn't let the tractor crank over or nothing. So, as of this second, the generator light comes on and it cranks over anyhow, so I should just put the choke cable on to make this thing easy to start. Oh, I'll keep doing it. Alright, let me get it running here. Alright, see if it's charged. I broke my lead. Somewhere right there. What happens if I rev it up here? It's not really sure. Same as the other one, if the light's off, it's not working. Yeah. So it's something with the wire. There it's off, but it's still charging. Let me turn the idle up a little bit on this thing. I want it to be revving and shaking and everything, but I want it to be high enough I can see if it's starting. This carburetor is by no means perfect. It goes long and it starts flooding out is what happens. The light's out now and it's charging. It's up around 13 volts. At least it was until it started flooding again. It was 13 until it starts flooding out. We're at about 12:8, 12:9, 13, it's flooding right about there. Pull the lights on. Still flooding about 12:70, 12:80. I got it. There's real fast. Shut it off and start it back up and see if it works again. Now see the light don't come on. Ah crap. I got gas dripping out on the hot muffler now. Apparently, maybe that float's bad in that carburetor or something. Okay guys, I'm gonna monkey with this off camera. I don't know how long I've been screwing around with this, about 20 minutes at least, so see what I get out of it. Alright guys, so the only thing I was seeing online different than the wiring I got going on is they want the generator light wire to be on with the ignition wire, and basically that triggers like a light load to show that it's charging and putting power over there. So I'm going to try that, and if that don't work, I'm just going to run it. I don't like a windy all of a sudden too. Alright, I'll let the camera charge and show you guys if it works. Need more alligator clips is what I need. Alrighty guys, so I think I got it. And it wasn't actually switching to the coil wire that solved my problem. It was, I don't know if you guys remember in the original part, but remember this other black wire I talked about, and I couldn't figure out why it was going to the battery. It's not supposed to go to the battery. It's supposed to go to the starter side of the generator, which when it spins creates its own electrical field. It's not for charging, but it's kind of like for sensing for the gen light. So give me 1 second here and I'll show you guys how it works. I think you guys can see in your upper left the generator light. And can you guys see what the meter is saying? It's saying 1288 now, something like that. Oh, of course the steering wheel is right there. Hold on. Trying to get both things in the shot here, which is kind of a pain. So you got 1287, 1286 right now. It's floating right there. The gen light is on. So if we crank it over, comes on dim and then goes out, and it's charging up to 1320, 13.6, something along there. So when when you shut it off, the light flashes. When you turn it back on, the light comes on. Got it, coach. Took me a lot longer than it should have, but what are you going to do? I couldn't figure out why they wanted a wire from there to there, but now it makes sense now. I didn't realize what it was supposed to be there for at first. So, I'm going to button up the wiring, which there isn't really a whole lot to do except put the cover back on the voltage regulator over here. And I did end up with that Delco Remedy in here, so I'm going to button up the wiring. I got some connections I need to fix and hook up the battery cables and stuff, and then I can put the fuel tank in, run new fuel lines, and then basically it'll be to the point where this thing is technically running and functioning. I'll just have to change the oil in it. And maybe some tires wouldn't be a bad idea either, but at least we could drive it around without doing multiple things. So I'm going to do most of that here off camera, and I'm going to let you guys charge because you guys are about dead. I got 1 bar of battery, and then I'll bring you guys back when I get all that together. Get the key switch in the dash. Then once I know everything's working over here, I can put the hood on and the seat pan back on and stuff like that. So, alright guys, I'll catch you in a bit. I gotta figure out what I did with the bolts for said seat pan now. God, I took this thing apart like 3 weeks ago. I don't know what I did.